Well, hello, Kitty. Look who's here. All our fans are out there. I'm Knife Chats with Tobias. Well, I'm Tobias. This is Knife Chats. This is Kitty, our production staff. She dropped by to say hi. And don't forget now, we got a great episode coming up. So Kitty is so excited to go see it. She's got to get behind the camera. So don't forget to leave a comment and give it a big old thumbs up if you like it. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. That bell just makes Kitty so happy. I did a video on this knife a little while back. It's the Beaver Tail Trapper by Tidiute, which is a Great Eastern Cutlery company. So basically it's the Great Eastern Cutlery Trapper. Really big knife. It's not your standard trapper. In any case, when I did this video, several people had mentioned that Marbles makes a knife that is nearly identical to this. And so what I'm going to do in this video is first I'm going to compare the two knives side by side, and then I'm going to talk specifically about the Marbles knife. And I got to tell you, the one I picked up is the one in the Marbles tortoiseshell, which is the MR213. It was in stock at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, so I collect tortoiseshell knives and said, why not? Go ahead and grab it. That way I don't have to get a regular trapper. And here we have the two side by side. And you notice sidewise they are almost identical in size. I would say the Marbles is maybe a 1/16 of an inch shorter. Yeah, about a 1/16 of an inch shorter. If you look at the top portions here, you will notice also that the Great Eastern Cutlery, a little more attention to detail. The blades are flush with the end here. The end caps are about the same. They both have that little cutout there, and both have brass liners. You can see right away the Great Eastern is definitely got it in the thickness department. The Great Eastern is definitely wider. It is also substantially heavier. The fact that this has a celluloid or acrylic handle and this has a wood handle, it's all about the steel. That's really where the difference is in weight. The Great Eastern is using 1095 carbon steel. The Marbles is using 440A stainless steel. Let's look at the blades. You'll see there's a definite difference in the blades. Not much if you're looking from a distance, but when you have both knives next to each other, you definitely see the difference. Right away you see that the Great Eastern knife has a knife that has a lot more belly on it. It's a little straighter too. Can you see that difference? Definitely more belly on the Great Eastern knife. It's also a little bit longer from side by side. Yeah, it's definitely a little longer. I would say perhaps an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch longer, maybe 3/16 of an inch longer for the long skinning blade. Both of them have a half stop happening. We'll talk about pull on a little bit. This has about a 9. These have a 5. Both have the half stop though. Let's take a look at the two spade blades side by side. And you see once again the spade blades are distinctly different. Definitely more belly on the Great Eastern, and this one has more of a spade type tip, even though it's got quite a bit of belly for a spade blade. This one barely has the tip happening, so not much of a spade blade, but it is a spade blade nonetheless. So you can see side by side the two knives are not exactly the same. And there's several other things that make them a little bit different as well. I mean, in the end, there really isn't a lot of comparison when you're looking at the difference in workmanship and such between the two. You're talking about a knife being made by craftsmen in a very small factory versus a knife made by workers in a much larger factory. The the thickness of the materials going on and everything else. The 1095 carbon steel blades, 440A stainless steel blades. The jig Brazilian cherry wood here versus a plastic handle. So there are numerous reasons why this is more expensive than this, other than the fact that this is made in the United States, this is made in China. This is a much better well-made knife. So when it comes to the workmanship and everything else, yes, it's kind of foolish to trying to compare the two knives to each other. But in general shape and everything, the knives compare quite well. So now let's stop with the foolishness of trying to compare a $100 knife with a $12 knife, and just focus on what you're getting for the price that you're paying for this Marvel's Jumbo Trapper. Because really, for the price, you can't go wrong. Especially if you're looking at just a really big knife that you want to throw in your pocket for occasional use. One of the things I liked about it right away is the pull on this is much easier. This is, like I said, maybe a 5 or a 6 when you're opening it. Got a really good half stop happening with it. Good sound with the snap and everything. You can feel the springs. Very strong springs on here. Both blades have about the same action, you know, and so about a 5 or 6 going on. Nice tight springs. You got the handle held on with 4 pins, and really not too bad for a tortoise shell. It's a little dark. It's mostly the dark brown. Very little of the translucent light brown is showing through, but not every tortoise is the same. I could have lived without the Marvel's shield being in there, but it's a nice shield. It's nice and simple. Looks like what? 1, 2, 3. Looks like a triple ringed bolster or triple threaded bolster. The way the blades do not come all the way up, well, that's the way Great Eastern used to have their Jumbo Trapper. They just recently managed to get it flush. So I'm not really complaining with that. And actually that, you know, look at that. That blade is nice and tight. No problem there either. No wiggle going on whatsoever at that blade. Other blade, also nice and tight. And a good thickness on these blades. And they still have quite a bit of wide belly going on. See the brass liners? And the fit is also not bad at all. That looks like discoloration. Yeah, that's not a gap. That actually is just a little discoloration where I need to do some polishing. Blade alignment is not too shabby either. All in all, you're talking about a really well-made knife. I think, what was it, something like $15 for it? I think that was like that, about $12, $15. And doesn't feel bad in the hand. And yeah, it does have a blade etch going on there, or actually it's more of a pad stamping, but so did the well, every Marvel's knives have that. And you know what, every Great Eastern cutlery knife has some kind of pad stamping on the blade too. It just lets you know if it's been used or not. And it's not really gaudy or anything, so it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, you know what, for the price you're going to pay for this, I really have no complaints about it at all. Is it a Great Eastern cutlery knife? Well, of course not, but then it's also not Great Eastern cutlery prices. So if you liked this knife but can't afford it, and you're just looking for something that looks the same and works the same, and you're all right with 440A stainless steel blades,
why not get it? I mean, 448 stainless steel blades is what the U.S. military went to from their pocket knives when they went from 1095 carbon steel. So it's not a bad steel. You know, it's not a super steel, but for everyday use, nothing really to complain about. Yeah, not bad nickel silver bolsters either. Yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. Glad I picked it up. Yeah, if you're looking for something like this, it beats a standard trapper by a mile as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it is definitely a pocket full. In any case, stick around for some slides, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks again for dropping by here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I'm Tobias. Kitty here's the production staff. We both want to thank you very much for dropping by and spending a little time with us. We really do appreciate it. And don't forget, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Kitty loves to hear that bell. Don't forget, thumbs up or that other nasty one there. And don't forget to leave a comment and share it with your friends. Kitty loves it when you share. Talk to you again soon. Right, Kitty?